Oh, soccer under construction here on Morning Kick Around. I'm Robert Kerr. He's Jason Davis. And as we dot the map with clubs, fans, and stadiums, we kind of sharpen up the point of our pencil with a bunch of news coming out this week from two major projects in major cities. A lot of politics mixed in with this first one. We're going to go over to Boston.
What are you talking about? There's politics involved in every one of these things. Don't act like it's just Boston that has politics.
Well, that's fair, but it's like there's not many steps removed from this one in Boston, with the mayor backing one plan, a mayoral opponent backing another plan. But the mayor, Mayor Wu, her backed program or project is the White Stadium for the NWSL club. Secured $100 million in financing from Bank of America, which was needed in advance to complete renovations to the historic White Stadium, clearing a major hurdle for the project for the Wu administration, per WBRR Boston.
Looks good. I think we have a picture of some of the. Oh, that's me and Ski.
That's not a stadium.
There it is. There's a stadium. We'll get that workflow done at some point. There's some of what's happening there at White Stadium. This is for Boston legacy, as Rob said. And when you look at the renderings of this, and maybe I can pull this up real fast and get it on screen. I didn't plan the White Stadium rendering to be part of this, but when you look at the rendering, we're not talking about anything sort of dramatically fancy. It's sort of a pretty basic soccer stadium, reasonably good looking soccer stadium with a couple of covered stands on the sideline ends, but open otherwise. And 100 million sounds like a lot, but I don't think it actually is, Rob. Like, I think we've got, we know how much it costs, not just like to build the stadium, but to put up to do all the extra work that goes. Here's this rendering for White Stadium, which you can see Boston is kind of in the downtown area is kind of in the distance. White Stadium's not downtown by any stretch or anywhere sort of close to where you would think of when you think of Boston, but it looks very nice here. And if they can get this done, it will be one of the jewels of NWSL. I mean, we're looking to build women's soccer stadiums like we've been talking about building men's soccer stadiums. And as of right now, I believe we have one purpose-built women's soccer stadium out in Kansas City. This would be number 2.
Yeah, and we talked about it a lot on the weekend when we were out in Albuquerque, just how like having your own stadium, a soccer-specific stadium, just puts kind of almost a hard to deny roots into the ground, and the level of seriousness that your outfit is headed. It just adds a legitimacy to it that really can't be accomplished for the most part when you're just renting a location, because a lease can be ripped up at any time.
Yeah.
Much different when all this money is being put into a physical building that's specifically for you.
Yeah, right, exactly, right. There was something very, I don't know what the right word is here. I mean, something very organic. It felt very cool to be part of what we saw in Albuquerque when the team, meaning the staff, gathers to pull the tarp off the field. I mean, we're talking about accountants out there, pulling the tarp off the field to get that place ready for a New Mexico United game, but they would rather not do it. They would prefer not to have to do any of that. Ron Patel, the president of the club, was telling us how much it costs just to get to, we can start the game now. And we're not talking about like concessions or anybody in the taking care of the fans. We're only talking about preparing the field and how much they have to spend on that on a match day. They prefer not to do that. Now, maybe they have to finance a building and to pay off some creditors over time, but they would prefer it be their building. And of course, the lines on the field, the quality of the surface. Right, we
turning baseball into soccer, no easy feat.
No, and we don't want that thing of, oh, is this going to be a good surface to play on? Well, we just had a football game out there. Now I know I sometimes you do have to share, right? And I do think that if there's any money involved, any public money involved, then you have to share. So the lease agreement that was signed by Mayor Wu last December, the team agreed to pay for half the cost needed to demolish and rebuild a new facility in time for the team and Boston school kids to use it by spring 2026. They are now expecting to get this done in 2027. It's not going to happen. They had some delays in all of this, but obviously this 100 million in financing is actually over and above the 25 million sum placed in escrow last February that acts as a guarantee to the city in case the team were to come up short. We don't yet know how much is going to cost the city of Boston. And actually, that came up in our chat that uh, John said that Wu comes across as a hypocrite here because she doesn't like Robert Kraft. Josh Kraft just dropped out of the mayoral race. There were some questions about the stadium in Revere and all of that. So yeah, there's plans to build a training facility in Brockton. Jamaica Plain this is part of the city. And I'm not saying it's not part of Boston. I'm just saying it's very difficult to build a city center in a place like Boston, just like you're not going to get a stadium in Manhattan, for example, if you're building.
No, tough stuff to build in these cities. Obviously, it's taken so long for Boston to get a stadium inside the city area. So definitely no easy feat there, but things may be becoming clear with the mayoral race playing out a bit. But switching cities, another major city with a stadium plan in the works, Chicago. The Chicago Fire hired 3 local contractors for the construction of the brand new stadium in the 78 neighborhood. Pepper
Sorry,
Construction,
let me get
PMA,
this. Let me
and
fix
all.
my problem. But thank you, John. I meant Everett, not Revere. My apologies. I'm getting my Boston geography messed up. Everett. I keep messing that up. Thank you, John. I'm sorry. That's a slip of the tongue.
Oh well. No harm, no foul, but good correction there. But yeah, in Chicago, they picked 3 local contractors. Pepper, GMA, and All Construction Group will build Chicago Fire's new $650 million stadium in downtown Chicago, announced on Monday. 22,000 is the expected capacity, entirely privately financed by Mansueto, and serving as the anchor to this neighborhood called the 78. Something that went under the radar, though, a couple weeks ago, a little
Yeah.
bit of an amendment, a new proposal to this plan eliminates some of the stuff that people were excited about. There was some housing stuff and also some transportation, including a red line station, some bike paths. So some of the public benefits quietly removed from this. But the big news this week, construction contractors hired.
Yeah, that's obviously a step. My attitude about these projects has always been I'll believe the stadium is happening when they are playing soccer on the field in the stadium and there are people watching. Like you can't get ahead of yourself because there are always delays, there are always cost overruns. And that even includes the idea of like, will it look like this? If it does, what a stadium. I mean, if this building ends up looking like this and the Chicago Fire are playing matches inside that building right there, just off the loop in downtown Chicago, holy crap, what a success story for Joe Mansueto and that club. Now, they have to get better in order to make it really worth it, but what a success story. And I know he is extremely rich, like wealthy beyond imagination, and probably can foot the bill for a lot of things. But we know the history of sports. Even billionaires don't like to pay more than they have to. And so they're going to cut public amenities or they're going to ask the city for a
Credits.
tax break, right? We're seeing this in Detroit. We're going to see it's always how little can we pay to build a soccer stadium that we control.
And you notice you put that a lot of these stadium deals, you put the sweetheart part at the beginning of it, and over time it kind of becomes eroded to where it's like, it's a partnership, and then
Yep.
maybe
Yep.
the city felt the impetus to take on more responsibility, and so hopefully that doesn't get eroded too much here in Chicago, and hopefully the plans do turn into this. Losing the CTA line, that's a big hit there because Chicago's got an excellent public transport system. I
Yep.
know locals might say it's being eroded in the last few years, but compared to where I'm in Detroit, world-class public transportation in Chicago. and hopefully this path along the river doesn't go away, or that grass public field by the look of it right there that has a farmer's
I don't know.
market in
Is that
it.
supposed to be public or is that training or what are we looking at? Because in this rendering that you're seeing on the screen, it does look like there's some sort of farmers market thing happening. I don't know. You could obviously conceive of this as like an opportunity for local youth clubs and various organizations to be out there. Combine that like here's some public service organizations who are doing things in the community, and the fire are hosting them, and you get to learn that maybe it is a farmers market. Maybe there are like squashes for sale right alongside the new venue for the Chicago Fire. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you can't take that stuff in the building, right? That would probably end up on the field at some point.
Yeah,
Uh,
people walking in with two kumquats, just like I'm ready for the game.
I mean, I'm always wondering how the Detroit people get the get things into the what is it they throw in Detroit? What is it they throw octopus
The
on the ice,
octopus,
right?
yeah, on the ice. Yeah, I think there's a lot of yeah. What is a yeah? Octopus is up a jacket or down the pant leg or
Yeah.
something. They get them in there somehow.
Somehow. Anyway, if that's public space, that would obviously be incredible. I hope they do. Right, as you said, do not bait and switch us. Guess what? All of them do it. Every single one. All the stadiums are bait and switch on some level. There's a roof. Oh no, there's no roof. It costs too much. Or yeah, again, public transportation. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to put the infrastructure in right now. That'll come later. Or there's gonna be mixed use and there's gonna be public housing. Right? Isn't this kind of the thing that happened in Indianapolis too? This whole argument over what it's supposed to be. And actually we had this off of our video on minor versus lower league, which is semantics. Not saying it's not, but sometimes semantics matter. And you said, Rob, correctly when somebody I think in the Discord was talking about this, that or in the sorry, it was a comment on the video that Indianapolis obviously has a mayor who thinks of USL as minor league because
Mm.
he's been chasing Major League Soccer.
Yeah, yeah, that's unreal. If we just separate that in context, Indianapolis, you have an established USL championship side. They are looking to legitimize themselves and take a step forward with a stadium. And there was already progress made. They knocked down an old building, and they're getting all that in the works. And then the mayor seemingly has his own motivations, and whether he just used MLS as a way to railroad the USL plan. But essentially, that's what happened. He said MLS is coming in, and then basically just turned one meeting with MLS officials into ending the USL project or completely putting that on the back burner and
Yeah.
really threw things off. And yeah, definitely doesn't consider, or it might not even have to do with the soccer team. It might just be his motivations to get that other site developed. And like we started this whole segment off, local politics really have a hand in here. And, Boston, Chicago, other places, no different in that aspect. And you're talking about Detroit. There's a couple switches there with the Detroit City FC soccer stadium, but a prime example of the bait and switch is the Illiches and Little Caesars Arena, where the Red Wings and the Pistons play. There was supposed to be all this a commitment to public spaces, public squares, as well as affordable housing. And, let's get the stadium built first, and then we'll build all those other developments. Well, Little Caesars Arena has existed for a number of years, and I think it's about a year and a half ago, we're excused by the state for the obligations to build the public squares and the affordable housing. So you see, there is a track record for those public benefits to kind of get whittled away once the primary interested part of the project is taken care of.
Yeah, it's very frustrating, right? And it doesn't make you feel good about the process, even if you were 100% on board with the idea
Yeah,
of
we
American
100%
soccer
want
teams
stadiums, right? Like,
have
there's nothing that we
stadiums.
want more than a soccer stadium for every team.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly right. It's the bargain we have to make. And again, if you don't live in the community that is affected by this, like I mean, in terms of like public money being spent or whatever, and maybe at the end of the day, it is worth it. I don't take a black and white view of this, right? I'm not, every single stadium deal is bad if it involves even a single dollar of public money. There are people like Neil DeMoss at Field of Schemes who certainly seem to feel that way. So we will continue to do our best to interrogate these deals as much as we can, even as we are very much on the side of please build us soccer stadiums.